All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for TNA. Now, I am not going to give you my thoughts until after I give the review. I want to make it clear. I'm doing the review first. Then you're going to hear my thoughts on this anniversary show. First, what did we get? We get Eric Young versus Sami Callihan because of what happened last week. I did see what happened last week when Sami was talking with Eric and showed respect and then got cold-cocked. That's what this was about. The cold-cocking. And Eric trying to make it very clear that he does not give two flips. He just does not care anymore. He's just gone completely nuts. Okay. I'm going to say this. Am I feeling this? I'm feeling the craziness of Eric Young again. But does it mean the other two are gaining it? Icarus and Saints, are they getting it? If I'm remembering their name correctly. I always forget their names. Because, simply put, they've not been important. Icarus and Saints have not been important. If I'm saying their names correctly. Because it's never been about them. It's been about Eric. They're a tag team, but they don't feel important. So now that you see them doing the craziness with Eric Young again, you'll wonder where you're going to go with this. Now, the most interesting thing, and I might put an image in, was when Sami grabbed the junk of Eric Young. I believe it's in my face if I'm going to put images in. It's not the last time. Let's make it very clear. Sami's going to do whatever Sami's going to do. If he grabs a pair of balls, he's going to grab them. But he didn't win. There was a cheat. And, of course, he was protected. But you wonder now, the Northern Armory, it's only Eric Young. The two others don't even need to be there. To be honest. Unless they do something with Icarus and they do something with Saints, I'm not feeling them. And that's if it's their names. You can tell me if I'm right. Second match. Elegance. Well, technically, the Elegance brand, because it's no longer Ash by Elegance, or Heather by Elegance, or M by Elegance. It's just the Elegance brand, which is fine. Okay. I don't really have a problem with that. The Elegance brand versus Ling Yang Lee and Marsha Slamovich. Now, I was not feeling this. They didn't show any type of dissension between the two. I was not feeling it. Because I'm not against Ling Yang Lee. She's had only 2 matches in the last near year. Not counting tag. And they really haven't done anything with her. No real story. No real anything. Well, how long has she been there? No, she hasn't been there. What, how many months now? Nearly 7 months since last year? Or the beginning of this year? 6 or 7 months? I haven't felt anything from her. She's done 2 matches. Not counting a tag match. And I feel like they have no idea what they're doing with her. Yeah, they're letting her go up against Marsha Slamovich. But what then? It's not just about a match. It's about the match and then what happens to that talent afterward. And I just don't know what they're going to do with Lee. I just don't know. It was a fine match. But then we see Killer Kelly show up. Now, I did see last week when they had the 4-and-1 match where there would be 8 4-and-1 match where they had 8 women, then it went down to 4 women, and those 4 women do the fatal 4-way, and the winner is the one who gets that shot at Marsha Slamovich at Slammiversary, which is now Killer Kelly. She comes out with the chain around her neck. It was alright. Let me give it to you like this. The vid pack for Killer Kelly was not that bad. I didn't have a problem with it. I felt like it was done pretty well. But it's like, of course they're not going to mention her being a mom. This is not involving her real life. But due to the fact she's been gone for so long, I would have rather see her build up into getting a match at Bound for Glory. Why not do this at Bound for Glory? Why not give Killer Kelly time to build up and let people get reacquainted with her? She's been gone a while. No, just like when it comes to the inspiration. And I got to say this. The match the inspiration had last week was okay. It wasn't bad. Now, the interview, this show, at least they did not do the inspiration. Thank goodness. But they did act a little different. Now, I will give you this. I do not know how much of the original iconic stick they're going to do. But I will say at least it's not a much. Not. The reason I botch here is I'm worried they're just going to go back to the same old shit. Now, the interview with Gia was a little different. It wasn't like they were going like, we had the inspiration. No. Pretty much, we're going to inspire you with attitude. It looked a little better. Then you see both of them a little bit different. One has a little bit of attitude. I think it's Jackie. And I will give you this. At least they look somewhat different, even though they both look physically the same. Both are blondes. Both are showing just enough flesh. Just a little bit enough flesh to make them sexy. And fine. But I'm like, are they going to be different? And kind of like what happened with Killer Kelly. I don't know. Because they're not given time really right now to build up into it. Are we going to get a match at Slammiversary when the inspiration will be going up against the Elegance brand? Because that's what it feels like is going there. They're rushing it. Instead of setting this up for Bound for Glory, we're going to get a rush. And I'm not agreeing with it. Next, we get... Let me give it to you like this. The match with the System, with Matt Cardona. They said, well, pretty much, they can't stand Matt being there. And they want him gone. But they said, well, we'll have a match with you. And they said, okay, you're going to have a match? Go get somebody. And they did find someone. He's a hometown man. It looks like they decided, whoever it was, since Cody has been comedic, let's make it clear, he's not leaving the company, but he's supposedly been fired. What do we do to keep him relevant and keep him in the company? Simple. Make him the hometown man of every town that they ever go to, because he was in his original hometown originally, his real self, and he lost. Then he went to another town. He lost. And now he's here at what is it? Tempe, Arizona. And now he's the hometown man there. And everyone is cheering for him. And I'm like, okay, he's still getting over. A comedic wrestler can use whatever's been thrown at him and make it mean something. And that was the entire match, mainly, was how over is Cody Deaner? And of course, the commentary team were not going to have it. Tom wasn't going to have it. He said, this is Cody. Look, I'm not against him, but this is Cody. And you see, Matthew humming along with the hometown man. And I'm like, it's over. And to be honest, I'm fine with it. There's nothing wrong with having a gimmick that works. Look at the Bushwhackers. Look at the Brooklyn Brawler, who is one of my favorites. And I know there's someone who doesn't even come on this channel and watch anymore, because I'm just saying it for people who have been around a long time. Stephen, or Steven, if you haven't seen him a long time, he used to do comments in my channel. He loved Johnny Swinger. He really loved him. But when he got released and he's gone, he's done. He doesn't care about anything but Johnny Swinger. He doesn't care about anybody else but Johnny Swinger. And I made it very clear to him, he's a comedic wrestler. They change him out. They do what they need to do. And I say this to you all. If you like Cody Deaner, it's great. But we don't know how long they're going to keep this up with Cody, because it changes very rapidly. But I can at least say this, he's over. And he won. And that's going to piss off the system even more. Next, let me give it to you like this. The final match. And I'm kind of glazing over most of this. I know that there was more to it. The beatdown happened afterward. But let me give it to you like this. The Champions Challenge. Compared to last week, when we had the 8-4-1 match, where they got 8 people that one side wins, then it goes to a fatal 4-way, and then we got one. We just have the champions on one side and no challengers. Look, Moose was there. Macklin was there. The Nimitz were there. And Trick was there. But that's it. There's no challengers for all of them. Except for Leon Slater. Because it's obvious that Leon is going to get a shot against Moose. But the Nimitz is no. And now the KC Navarro. And I haven't forgotten about KC last week. I did see the show. I saw the match when KC got hurt. And if you don't know, supposedly KC now has a dislocated knee. His left knee is dislocated. They're doing therapy and rehab on it. So hopefully he's all right. But we're not going to know until maybe a couple of weeks from now if it's gotten better. Because a dislocation is no fun. Look what happened to Ray Phoenix when he went for a table and he dislocated his elbow. His entire arm went whoop. That shit had to hurt. But this is what we got. We got the Rascals. We got Elijah. We had Leon Slater. And we got Joe Henry. Yes, the one who got the pin was Elijah on Ryan Nimitz. It was not one of the Rascals. It wasn't Joe Henry. It was Elijah. So in most cases, you would say, okay, that means he's in line for a title match eventually. But that means you're going to have to get a partner. And the only person I can think of doing that will be Joe Henry. So you may have Joe Henry working with Elijah, even though Joe Henry still has a tag match. No, not a tag match. A world title match. I'm sorry. I think they may do that at Slammiversary. That would be the wisest place to do that. Do I believe that Joe Henry will win? I can't say. I'm not going to say now. It counts on how they're going to develop the story going forward from here. Now, let's do the bits in the back. Order 4. Okay, I had to switch off my camera. It was flashing at me. Let me give it to you like this. Did I like the segment with Order 4, the cabinet, as I call them? Seeing that they had to apologize to Ali because he's thinking in his crazy mind that they have been irresponsible, foolish, and stupid. Seeing that Tasha has been calling him. Who the fuck is him? Sooner or later, they're going to have to show this person. But she's been calling him. And he told her not to do it and asked for, demanded an apology, which she gave. Hunch. He was a little more resistant because she didn't try to resist. She complained a little bit, but she didn't resist. Hunch, he did do a little bit of resistance, making it very clear, look, you put your hand on Tasha. My daughter and my wife was in the audience that day when that happened. For them, it ain't gonna happen. You got what you got. And then he got the smackdown being told, who's paying for the kid? Who's paying for your house? Who's paying for the damn diapers? Is it you? Or is it me? And he could not stand it. Going just like this, he could not stand it with that beard of his. But he's kind of right because he's getting paid by Ali. And he made it clear, apologize. And not just do an apology, but do an apology for your wife and daughter. Apologize on their behalf. And then he had to do it. But here's where it gets interesting. You see, you would expect Hunch be the one that would go off the reservation, as they used to say. No. The most loyal one there, who's been Skylar, grabs the damn mic and says, look, sir, you're a great leader, but you've been acting like an asshole. Not in those many words, but that's what it came down to. Auto 4. I think the reason I'm botching here is I'm worried they're not going to extend this beyond just going to Slammiversary. They may not even make it to Slammiversary because Skylar's going to have a match next week. And I'm like, this is a lost opportunity until they show who him is, because we don't know who him is yet, because it's not Champagne Singh, it's someone else. We don't know who. I don't think it's Muhammad Ashira. I don't think it's the others saying. I don't think Raj's dad's going to be involved in this. I don't know who they're going to bring in unless it's going to be Jinder Mahal, because that's the only other person I could think of to show him. You got Skylar as the only thing that's interesting right now with all the cabinet must stretch this out to Slammiversary. I don't want to see this just like this and it just is quick and put him in his place. It's got to be something. If it is possibly Jinder Mahal, the former Jinder Mahal, if it's him, then I'm hoping they'll build this going into Slammiversary. But do I believe that? I don't know. But this is what I'm feeling. I'm interested in seeing how far they're going to go with this. Santana's still not there yet. He'll be there next week. And he will get his hands on AJ Francis. Now, let me give it to you like this. Steph Talander. Matt Warner. And a Tommy Dreamer who admits that he can't go now. He says he can't. Well, when Tommy was called into the ring by Santino and said, look, I know the person that you are. If you want a match, you got it. I got the authority. It'll be done. And then Steph and also Mance comes out, goes face to face with him. He tells them, step back. I can't go right now. I can't do the match. I know what's crazy in his head. I know what's crazy in my head. We both crazy. But I can't do that. I see my career in the back now. I've already done my career. But there will be consequences. And it will be something. And Jake Something comes back. Jake Something finally returns. And they get into a fight. And then Warner had to be driven back. Now, let's make this very clear. If you have Tommy go up against Warner, it wouldn't be a good match. Not because I think Tommy can't wrestle anymore. He probably can still wrestle to a certain extent. But since he did have the skin cancer problem, remember, he's got skin cancer, and I think they just treated it already. Kind of like what's going on with JBL right now. He's got, I believe, prostate or colon. But they both had cancer. So essentially right now, as it stands, I don't think Tommy's going to go in the ring at any time soon, if ever again. But having a proxy for Tommy Dreamer from this moment on would actually be a wise thing. In fact, if they're smart, after this feud with Warner and Jake Something, let Tommy be Jake Something's manager. And then change Jake Something into a hardcore wrestler. I think that would be one of the wisest things to do. Yes, we already have a hardcore wrestler when you come to Warner, when it comes to Eric Young, when it comes to Sami Callihan, but there's nothing wrong with having another one. There's nothing wrong with it. Or at least get some influence from Tommy Dreamer. At least have him as his manager for a little bit. Act like he's trying to mentor him. And then try to tweak his character in a different way. He's been the same way since they've done it. And I've never hated his character, but do something with him. Now, let's talk briefly about Tessa and Hindi. When you looked at the match last week, Indy got cold-cocked by Tessa Blanchard. She was not in the ring yet. She was on the ring skirt. Tessa just went and hit her just for the hell of it. And she says, what are you doing? And that's in this segment. She says, what? What, you cold-cocked me? You want to start something? I said, no. And says, oh, there we go with Tessa again. Doesn't want to take responsibility. And that, finally, is the smartest thing the creative could have done. Because we have been wondering, I'm sorry, guys, I'm sure many of you don't even give two damn flips about Tessa and what she did. But there are people who do. And they're still booing her. Not because she's a heel, but many of them think that she's still racist. What I said before, TNA did not do this correctly. They need to set this woman up that she has to go for the roster and prove herself. Now, as far as I know, I haven't really checked lately, there's been no problems in the back with Tessa. She's been quiet. which is great. But there's still people who believe that she is not a good person. So what you need to do in this situation is to use reality and take it and twist it to make a storyline that you can turn those people from thinking she's racist to something else. And this was the wisest thing they could have done by not addressing it, like I said, because they would look like they were pushing her too hard to go to the main title picture, which was wrong. They should have let her go for the entire roster, all the women. Doesn't matter if they're a heel. Doesn't matter if they're a face. She made it clear. It doesn't matter what bitch on the roster there is. I can beat any of them. And she's only gone up against two. And I'm not counting a Jordan Grace. She's gone against Marsha Slamovich. And she's gone against Ling Yang Lee. That's it. I'm not counting Jordan because she was going out the door. That doesn't count. Particularly with the situation that she's had for so many years that people are saying she doesn't want to address it. She doesn't want to make it right. This was the only option they had. They needed to do more with her. And this could be the best thing for her. Now, does this mean Indy is going to get something out of this? Maybe. I'm hoping. But I'm sure Indy is perfectly fine doing a storyline with Tessa because if they had actual history together, which they probably did, the question is going to be how they're going to book it. That's going to be interesting. Maybe if they're smart, they'll drag this out until Slammiversary, but I don't know. Now, all that's done. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. The 23-year anniversary. This was shit. I'm saying it now. Mind you, the show was fine. And I'm not telling you that the show was garbage. It wasn't. They addressed generally what they needed to address on a regular episode of Impact. Fine. And it's leading into Slammiversary. Good. But you added on top of it these stupid motherfuckers. They added on top of it that this was a 23-year anniversary. The very day they actually aired, I believe, the Asylum matches. The very first show, one of the first Asylums, they aired it. I believe that was it. I could be wrong. I didn't see TNA back in the day. I didn't have cable, so I couldn't see it even if I wanted to. But the point here is, you're saying that this was an important day. But what did you do to make it important? Nothing. Mentioning it means bullshit. You needed to do something. I cannot believe you are collaborating with Silver Lake WWE and you could not bring someone over just to say a few words on the 23-year anniversary of it. You couldn't. Of course, you can't use Eric Young because he's a heel. He's not going to do it. Or Kazarian, he's also a heel. You could have asked James Storm to come in, or at least to do a call. You could have done a Zoom call. You could have done it in Discord. He could have done a Discord call. Or AJ Styles could have done a Discord call or a Zoom call with AJ. If they couldn't be there, if AJ could not show up there, or Abyss, Joseph Park couldn't show up, or Bobby Roode, he's part of Silver Lake WWE, he's one of their agents. You couldn't get one person from the WWE roster, or better yet, one person from commentary. Jeremy Borash, I believe he's still doing commentary. I think he's doing commentary in Evolve. I could be wrong. Or Speed. I don't remember. You could have called Booker T. You couldn't tell me they're in Arizona, not far from where Booker T is, and Reality Wrestling. And he works Reality Wrestling. He still owns it. He goes there. You can't tell me you couldn't ask Booker T through Silver Lake, hey, could he come and at least say a few words? A legend. No. And I'm sure people can say, dude, they're going to do something for Slammiversary. A Hall of Fame. This is not about the damn Hall of Fame. I'm not talking about bringing a person that will be in the Hall of Fame in Slammiversary. Bullshit. This is about the 23-year anniversary of the company beginning its existence. And you couldn't bring back anybody. Now, I can't say Jeff Jarrett because he's with AEW, and I doubt Tony's going to let that happen. But anybody else, Booker T, AJ Styles, Jeremy Borash, Joseph Park. Hell, you could have asked Amazing Red. And Kaz talked about him. Amazing Red was a part of TNA. Why wasn't he called? Why didn't they call somebody? I can't believe in this bluest of blue world, you couldn't get one person to just say something in the opening of the damn show and say, this is the 23-year anniversary. I was there. It doesn't have to be someone important that is going to go in the damn Hall of Fame. I'm not saying to have Dixie Carter or a Hulk Hogan or a Eric Bischoff. None of them. I'm not saying any of that. But you cannot tell me you could not bring someone in just to say something. It felt stupid to even mention it because it didn't feel important. This shit didn't feel important one damn bit. And that pissed me off more than anything that I saw today. TNA is supposed to be back. They've been back since last year. And it's supposed to be important. And you mentioned the 23-year anniversary on the exact day the company started broadcasting or recording so people could watch it. And you could not bring back just one person from its history. One who doesn't have to go into the Hall of Fame in Slammiversary. Just somebody. They just threw that out there as an afterthought. And I don't care what you say. That's bullshit. It disrespects the company. It disrespects a lot of people on the damn roster. If you're going to mention the 23-year anniversary, why not bring someone in who might have been there? Tell me, you couldn't get Mike Tenay to come back? Why? Because he's gone into WWE's Hall of Fame? Well, I'm not saying he would, but I'm just saying, if he was and they were still that, I would understand. If Mike Tenay went to WWE before it got purchased, I understand he would not be able to do it. They probably would not let him. But Mike Tenay is not working for WWE. Why was he not called in? Why wouldn't they bring him in just to say something? Why? You guys tell me below. This felt like crap, but this is just me. Peace.